Hey there. Welcome to the Spring Bar. Right this way. I've got the best seat in the house.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Spring Bar. Glad to have you here. I am Mike. I think that right there, at least on my screen, I'm pointing to Joe. That's Joe. We're somewhere.
Right
Today,
across your face.
yeah. Today is my day to rant. I have some rants. I've held it in as long as I can. Today, I get to get it off my chest because I have a podcast and I get to do these kinds of things, and you guys just have to listen to it. So, but
I apparently don't have a podcast and I don't get to rant, so I'm just going to be along for the ride with all the rest of you.
listen, you can rant about something if you want. You just got to pick a topic to rant
Everybody
about.
knows my feeling on leather on divers. I'm good.
Well, there you go. I have not made my position known yet.
Well, publicly.
Publicly. Yeah.
Publicly.
Until then, Joe, how you doing today?
I'm tired, man. I'm tired. It's been a long week. It's going to be a long week. I've got long weeks.
God, you got an extra hour of sleep last night.
Uh, okay. If you say so, right? Because this is the horologist holiday, right? It is daylight savings time today, which means everybody is setting their watches.
Well, so that's what's funny is
I got to do that too, don't I?
this is the first year that my girlfriend has had to go through a time change with me. And she says, "Oh, you're going to be busy, aren't you?" I said, "Doing what?" She goes, "Don't change the time on all your watches." I said, "But first off, 90% of my collection is mechanical and I have to set it every single time I wear it anyways.
Right.
And the stuff that isn't, I'll just change it as I pull it out of the box and we'll see how long I go." And that just gauges how often
Yeah,
or
it's
not
true. No,
often
it's true. Like
I wear something.
I imagine that there are a couple watches that I've got in my collection right now that are still haven't been set for a while.
That because of this time change are now set back to the correct time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So they're back keeping time rather than being off.
Yeah. I have a wall clock that does that.
Adjusts?
No, it sits at one time and then for 6 months out of the year it's incorrect and I have to do the mental math.
You can fix that, you know.
I know. It's a pain in the butt to mount it. It's one of those weird hidden kind of mounts on
I
the wall.
remember getting into watches, and the first time it came through, and I setting all my watches and taking a picture of it, being so proud of like
It was an event.
well, yeah, but also I only had like 12.
Oh, so long ago. I
Yeah,
know.
I haven't done that in a while. Anyway,
It's like when you're a parent and your kids grow up and after, a couple of years of doing it, you're like, whatever, let them play out in the rain. I don't care.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, what do you got on the wrist? What are you drinking?
I have in the glass. I've got some Angel's Envy, and on the wrist is the Sea Hunter. Just a
Oh,
lovely watch. It's such a good daily wear watch, dude. You need to see one
how
someday.
you
Someday in
don't
your lifetime.
you don't say.
Someday in your lifetime, one's going to show up. It'll be out of the blue. It'll be out of the blue. It'll be amazing.
It just might be. Yeah. Whenever that'll happen. So I too, I have taken your advice. I went and bought a bottle of Angel's Envy.
Yes.
This is the port finish, which I assume yours is the same type of bottle.
It's the same type of bottle, and yeah, I think I've got the port finish as well. Costco?
Yeah. No, ABC Liquors out
Okay.
here for us. Do you guys have ABC there? Are they a nationwide chain? No? Okay. Yeah. So it's just for us. And today I'm wearing my Green Dial Super Seville.
Oh, that's a good watch, dude.
This is just a good lounger watch. This is
Yeah.
a good sip on some bourbon watch.
Which you then had to set.
Oh, well, shit. It's the wrong time. See? See? I had just grabbed it and threw it on. I didn't. I'll set it in a little bit here. So yeah, I got my glass going here.
Cheers, my man.
Hey, cheers. Mm, this stuff is delicious.
It's fascinating. Oh, yeah, it's real good. It's real
Yeah.
good.
I know that you have some new stuff. We both have new stuffs.
I got
So I'm
stuff.
gonna I'm
I
gonna
got
let
stuff.
you go first.
All right, I'm up.
Uh, I'm gonna put up on the screen here. We'll just talk about whatever
We
comes up
go in
first.
order. First up is this Devil Diver, and I got this from our friend Oliver. Um, this is an interesting watch because it's a European version. It's got the solid red bezel. It's got your basic Devil Diver handset and everything else that goes with it. But this is the European model, right? I've got the black bezel and I've had that for a while. He liked it and he picked up this red, and then he decided to swap out the movement. And so it's an upgraded movement, hacking, 60-hour power reserve, stuff like that. And the movement that was originally in it, he put into that photo sample
Oh, really?
2018 reissue. So
Oh,
I have the full watch. I've got everything that I need. But these are really cool because the 2018 reissues are 44 millimeters. These are 41. They're much
yeah.
more akin to the current reissue size. The K shape is a little bit different just on the flanks. The bracelet's just fantastic. It's got that
You
great
know,
drape.
that is so oceanographer though.
It
Like
is.
how many different case variants and slightly little changes did they go through in the 70s? And now
Of
history is
course,
repeating
right.
itself all over again.
But essentially it's always the same watch. And to me, that's just, I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I wasn't expecting to get this one because, the black bezel really ticked all the boxes for me. But this red is nice. It's a really cool pop of color. It's fun to wear. I like it a
I
lot.
think I like the red a little bit more than the black.
Oh, well, of course you would.
Well, it pulls out the crosshairs and
It does, yeah,
the
it does. And the seconds hand and it,
the
it
yep.
ties it ties it together a little bit better.
Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that one.
it's not bad at all.
So take the movement in your photo sample, put it in here, and then take the upgraded movement, put it in your photo sample, or are you just going to leave it alone?
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay,
I'll
well,
leave it. I'll leave
that
it
works
alone.
too.
I mean, they're both great as they are. They're fun to wear. I wasn't expecting to like either of them as much as I do. They're killer. It's great.
Yeah, that's
All
cool.
right. What's next?
Moving on. Ooh, this I like this one.
All right. This is. I've been doing research on this. These are weird. These are really weird. Okay, so they call it the Monin case.
Okay.
Monnin, and it's not the manufacturer's name. It's just somebody who made divers using this kind of case. You can see there's a little notch in the crystal at 3 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where the water goes in. And the water goes in, and you can see that inner track around the dial. That is a depth gauge. So
And what is it? A little red marker that just gets
yeah,
pushed around?
kinda, yeah, and it'll tell you how far down you are if it works. Apparently, you cannot vacuum test these, and I don't know if I would be comfortable pressure testing it. So,
Yeah, right.
it's got the AccuSet on the side because it's just a straight up quartz movement, but it is also specifically one of the last quartz movements that Bulova made in house.
Hmm.
So trying to get this one serviced will be a pain if I need to do it. And there's a problem. The crown doesn't screw in, so I got to deal with that. But man, that
Okay.
watch is fun. It's heavy. It's cool. The bezel is great. The dial is great. That's a killer watch.
You've been
Absolutely.
after one of these for a long time.
Or there's a version that's got a PVD finish
Yes.
on the
Yeah, the
case,
black.
and then there'll
Yeah.
be a bracelet that goes with it. This one's all stainless. It's on the original bracelet, original signed bracelet. It's killer. It's really killer. Yeah, and I got nobody. There were no bids on this. There was one other bid that was retracted. I got it for what the offer was. It was
Well, and you don't have to say what it was, but usually these things are selling for six, seven, $800.
well. So you remember that sample case that was going around?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna try to put an offer on that just to have one, and this one's all original. It's like this is way better, way better.
Yeah. That's cool. I like these. I think whether it works or not, just the idea
Yeah,
of the depth gauge is
right.
cool because at one point or another, it did work, and somebody really had fun with that watch.
Yes, yeah, they did. It's like it's a 1980s only watch, PO on the case back. And then
Uh,
on the back, the on the case back specifically, it says, do not vacuum test.
really.
Yeah, yeah, stamped, not scratched. It's stamped on there from the factory. It's a
Huh.
really cool watch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I
that
like it a
one.
lot. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. All
Now,
right.
do we have something else? Oh, you do have.
Yeah,
Look at
one more.
this.
One
Okay.
more. These ones just came back from our man formerly in Japan. And so on the left is the gold-plated Oceanographer 666, Mercedes handset, orange
Hmm.
seconds hand. I've got it on this small coffin link that doesn't quite work. But this one, there was a saga here because this watch was plated and the plating was flaking. So I sent it to Dave, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sending something else for another guy. Do you want to get this replated?" I'm like, "How much?" He's like, "It won't be much, like $60." I'm like, "Great, yeah, go for it." It took forever for that to happen, and he sent the watches in, and they sat on him, and they sat on. This is through Replayed It. Sat on it, sat
Hmm.
on it, sat on it, sat on it. Nothing happened. And then when they sent it back, they didn't prep the case well. And so the plating is okay. It's not fantastic.
Give it out of a 10.
Out
What
of a
would you give it?
10, it's like, a 7.5.
Okay.
If you know what you're looking for, you can see that there's some flaws, there's some bubbling on the flanks. Um, there's some pitting because they just didn't really prep the case. I think they just took the case and then dunked it, you know?
So here's a question that I have, and this is actually interesting because Replayed It. When you look on their page, the work that they do that they show in the photos looks phenomenal. It
Yeah.
really looks great.
Yeah.
Um, so to see the photos of how this one came back was almost a little disappointing.
Oh, very
But
much so. Yeah.
does it beg the question of you get what you pay for? Now, this cost you $60.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is about what you should expect for a $60 replating? Because I
Yeah,
was
I would.
expecting it was going to cost a lot more.
I was, and I guess that you do get what you pay for, and I think that if you're going to do something like that, that you should probably try to prep the case yourself. Get it into a good plating situation. I don't know. I don't deal with a lot of that sort of thing. That's just kind of outside of my realm of expertise. But I don't know.
Well, and I don't deal with plating either. And I have some stuff that I thought of sending out to have replated, but it's, is it worth it? Is it
Well,
not?
here's kind of the thing, right? A lot of those replating places, at least the ones that are doing a lot of commercial work, they're in greater LA area. They're nearby. So for me, I may just go visit next time I need to get something done.
Well, and the funny thing is Replayed It just moved to California. They were a
Yeah.
Canadian company, and I think
Yeah.
they still have the Canadian location, but they opened up one on the West Coast there somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where.
Yeah, right.
But so if you're looking at the picture, it's important to note that the bracelet was not part of the replating. The
Correct.
watch itself is, but
Yeah,
even
the
in this
bracelet, the
photo,
bracelet's the bracelet's very worn. It's an
yeah,
old bracelet.
I'll
And
tell you
the
what,
lugs, it looks good, but the lugs don't fit exactly right. There's too much of a
the
gap.
lugs don't fit exactly right.
Yeah.
I like the coffin link on that particular watch,
I like the coffin.
especially.
I've been trying to find something to put this on since I got it, and I got it not recognize. I don't think it listed the color
Hmm,
of it, and the picture quality was poor. So it just kind of is what it is. But
yeah.
it's all right. I gotta find the right bracelet for it. I think probably a fitted president bracelet, something like that. If I can get one, and it's sort of a standard case shape, standard case size, 18 millimeter lugs.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I'm always a fan of a president, you know that. So,
yeah,
but next to it, you got another one of these weird Italian things.
it's an Italian thing. It's an Italian thing. It's almost a Polar Explorer kind of dial. Mercedes hands, ordinals, date, and it says automatic and 100 metri, METRI, because Italian, even though it says Swiss made on it. It's a great dial. It's a really neat watch. There were three different color variations of this. There's like a blue dial, a black dial, and this. It should have a 24-hour, like just the evens, kind of like a GMT on the
Hmm.
bezel that looks like that's been polished off, which I think
But
I
it should
actually
be
prefer.
printed on there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
not stamped, just sort of printed on, kind of that weird shadow looking thing.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it. I had it on the orange because of Halloween. I probably put it on some black something, and Just let it ride.
You like these weird ones.
I do.
I don't. That surprises me. I don't know why you like them. They're very odd, and you are not one for the odd.
Hey, look at that watch.
But you
It's a,
you
but
you always seem to have one at any given time, and
I
then this
do.
one will run its course, and you'll sell it, you'll get rid of it,
I
and
will.
then you'll tell me, you'll be like, oh, I really wish I would have had that, and then you'll buy another one.
I'm a sucker for these oddballs.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff in the world, and this is one of them. It's not a bad watch. It wears large. It fits a little bit large, but it's not bad. I like it. I like it. I'm not sure how well it fits into the collection as a whole, but
Mm.
it's cool. This is a cool watch.
It's something. Now, do you want to see some cool watches?
Oh, yes. Show me something. Show me.
Okay. Well, the first up is something that I think that we can agree is something cool. I've got an Accutron Deep Sea. This is okay. So, conversation sidebar here. The Deep Sea A
Yes.
is the dual crown with the
Yes.
internal rotating bezel. The Deep
Yes.
Sea B
Yes.
is the kind of the same dial as the Deep Sea A,
Stick
but with
markers.
the all black rotating bezel, the
Correct.
external bezel. This watch you call the Deep Sea AB. Now I'm curious as to why you call it the Deep Sea AB. Have you seen it listed as that? Because when you look it up in the line books, this is just the Deep Sea. So you have the Deep Sea as shown here, then you have the A, and then you have the B.
It's in the line book as being listed as the Deep Sea AB. Initially, I think it was called the Deep Sea A, or just the Deep Sea before they had the rest of the lineup. And so that's real common. Mine, okay.
So
I
now
have
there's a
I have the
variant
whole
of
I have
this. There's a variant of this that has the red tipped second hand and the kind of the triangular
yeah,
arrow hands to
the
it.
arrow the broad arrow hours.
Is that the AB version,
It could
perhaps?
be. I've seen mine listed as AB as well.
Okay.
So it depends on how you go about looking at it. Because yours is ours are both 69,
They're both 69, yeah.
but I think mine is on the first run and yours might be on the second run because I've got the solid black bezel on mine. And I don't know if I don't know enough about these to give you a really, and there's really not a whole lot of research either.
So this was supposed to be a client restoration. Over a couple of conversations, he decided that I would wear it more, I would enjoy it more, and he said, "You can just have it for what I've got into it," which was a great price for one of these. Um, it didn't run properly. I actually had, believe it or not, just sitting around a donor 218-1 movement that I
Oh,
put in here. Works great, runs great. The dial and hands are beautiful, but the crystal was all crazed and it just looked horrible. There was one crystal on eBay, and I just happened to know the guy who was selling it. So I got a little bit of a deal on it, probably more than I wanted to spend. However, they get you with this internal Cyclops.
yep,
Otherwise, you can just get a regular $14 cheap crystal and throw it in
yep.
there, which I probably could have done, but half the appeal is having the internal Cyclops.
Yeah,
So
you need that one. That one has to be correct.
this is one of those you just got to pay to play kind of things.
Uh-huh.
Um, I, the very beginning of my collecting, had tried multiple times to win auctions for one of these. This is what I wanted to originally be my very first Devil Diver. And I lost and lost and lost. And I got so frustrated one night that I got upset. And I went and I found the very first Devil Diver with a buy it now that I could come across. And it just happened to be my Caravel Scuba. And that's what I bought. And all of these years, it just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth where, yeah, I just don't want one. I don't need one. Whatever. It is one of those stories, until this client brought it to me and I saw it in person. I'm like, oh man, okay, I really
They're
kind of want one
really,
again.
really good. Like if you haven't seen one in person, The case is really elegant. I mean, you could call it derivative of other diver watches, but there's just something that's a little bit more refined about it. And then there's the hum that goes with it. It's a really slim case. It's a really slim bezel. It's mostly dial with the alpha hands, which I prefer. And then
I
the,
prefer,
the, the
yeah,
tuning fork seconds hand.
yeah,
It's a killer watch.
yeah. I think the broad arrow hands are a little rarer,
Yeah, but they're also a little bit over the top. I
but
don't care for them nearly as much.
there's something about it that just doesn't fit. I much prefer these alpha hands with that seconds hand on here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that I finally got one. So I'm excited with it. I'm happy with it. I really do enjoy it. I've been wearing it a lot lately. If you guys saw my Halloween post, this is the watch that was kind of on fire. So yeah, it's cool. With the new crystal, makes all the difference in the world. So
Oh, I'm sure.
I'll do the case on it and I'll make it look real nice, and away we go. So
Yeah, that's a great watch.
next up is a trade watch. I traded my Helson Caribbean 1000, which was a great
Orange.
watch. Almost a one-to-one. And in fact, the guy that I traded it to had an original Jenny,
Oh, really?
the same color, same exact everything. And he said he got rid of it because he was too afraid to wear it. And he's like, I really did enjoy it. So this is perfect because I can wear it without having to worry about, having a super expensive rare watch.
Uh-huh.
So I traded him for this. A Leap. I got a Leap.
Leap. That's
Leap.
a lip. L-I-P. Lip.
Leap.
Lip. You're
A
not
Leap
French.
Mach 2000. This is not the chronograph. The chronographs are a little more popular.
Chronographs have that 3-button primary color, yellow, red, blue
Yeah.
knobs.
This is.
I don't understand you at all, man. God.
Come on. This is the perfect me watch. This is so funky and out there. I love it. I've wanted one of these things for so long.
God damn.
One of those, I've just never pulled the trigger on at moments. They're not super expensive and they're readily available. You can find them.
Okay. All right. Hang on. Okay. So what's the case? Is it a plastic case or is it a steel case?
It's a steel case that is got some sort of coating on it. I don't know what it is.
PVD of some sort, right?
I don't even know if it's a PVD. It just may be painted. And there's a couple of spots, if you look at it, that have been touched up with, some black paint. It's not perfect, but I don't expect it to be. There's not a lot of history on this. This one, if you're not looking at the photo, is the 3-hand quartz version, date window at the 6. White,
yellow hours hand, yellow seconds hand,
yellow hour, yellow seconds.
That's the setting knob.
That is the crown.
The yellow ball.
The yellow ball at the top corner at the 2 o'clock is the crown. It's like a backwards D-shaped case.
Yeah, asymmetric.
With a notch at the 2 o'clock for the ball to sit in. That's the crown. It is very thin. I was not expecting it to be as thin as it is.
Really?
I would say 5-6 millimeters.
No,
it's
shit,
thin.
Really?
It's real thin.
Huh.
The original strap.
Rubber?
It is rubber. It is a pain in the ass when you buckle it and you go to fit the end under the keeper. It is so tight and it is so rubbery that it's such a pain in the ass to get it to slide through there and keep.
I wonder if you could get like a Casio strap or something else that would work on that. What's the lugs? 18? 20?
I believe it's 18. I didn't measure them, but it looks like an 18. I've seen some of these, and I believe they're newer models that have a black mesh. And they actually look kind of cool with the black mesh on it.
Yeah, I could see that being better. Like a shark, not a shark mesh, a Milanese mesh.
But it's like a black Milanese, yeah.
Yeah.
So I might
the really fine mesh.
Yeah, I might go that route just to kind of preserve the actual, the factory.
Okay, but now talk about the case back, because this is where it gets weird.
So, and I don't have a photo of the case back, and I don't have the watch with me because I got it up on screen. It has there's no manufacturer markings on the case back. It says waterproof to 30 meters, and then it has a Bloomingdale's engraving on it. Yeah.
That's weird.
Why Bloomingdale's? I don't know. And when you do a Google search for Leap Mach 2000 Bloomingdale's. Nothing comes up. There's no
Really?
information. I don't know if it was a special edition, if it was something that was exclusive through Bloomingdale's. I don't know.
All right.
Like I
So,
said, there's not
so
a
if
lot
you're
of information
French,
on these.
if you're French, parlez-vous lip?
Leap, parlez-vous leap.
Yeah, lip. Bring it on. You and your friend, Mike's taking a turn on us. You know, he's going to start wearing Baltics. He's already got his Yamas, and now he's get this lip thing going. I don't know.
Well, speaking of Baltic, have you seen the limited edition yacht timer they came out with?
Yeah,
That's
it's not
kind of
bad.
cool. Yeah,
It's not
I
bad.
like that one. I
Yeah,
don't like the price, but I like the
yeah,
watch.
yeah. I'm with you on all of that.
So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I like these.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm going to
Well,
have to get the chronograph cousin to
oh
complete
Jesus,
the
that
Leap collection.
watch is awful.
It is not. It is very cool. I like
You're
it.
wrong.
I'm never wrong.
Yeah. Whatever.
You know what else I'm not wrong about, Joe?
What's that?
Crystals in Lume.
Yeah, well, to be determined. Go.
So
This is Mike's rant. Mike's been talking about this. He's been proposing this as a subject for months now. Months.
how many times do and I guess my argument comes from the affordable watch space. 500 and below?
Sure, probably less than that. It's five, yeah,
Okay.
500 and below. That's where you get into your affordable. It's you're talking your first watch, your first good watch.
Yeah. But that's also a category where a lot of collectors go into because you get great bang for the buck out of there. Now, the problem number one, I should say, is some of these manufacturers in this price range offered sapphire as a crystal on an affordable watch. And I think when it first came out, it was kind of like, ooh, did they make a mistake? They put a sapphire in here at a $350 price point. Oh my, I can't believe that. That's such great value. We got a sapphire crystal because sapphire was always reserved for the high end. That was like the ultimate material to make a crystal out of because it doesn't scratch, it doesn't break. You found them in Omegas and Rolexes and you name it, right? And it slowly started to trickle its way down the price brackets. And then now all of a sudden it's in this affordable range, which has ruined every watch to come after it that has a mineral crystal, or heaven forbid, an acrylic crystal still. My Yemas came with acrylic crystals. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely love it because there is just something about the warmth and the clarity that you get from an acrylic crystal that you don't get from anything else. My latest irritation comes from the Sea Hunter that you have on your wrist
Yeah,
that has a mineral crystal,
yeah.
and the number of complaints of why does it not have a sapphire crystal. It's a $350 watch, for crying out loud. It doesn't need to have a sapphire crystal. Like,
Does it need to
are
have a
you?
display case back? Does it need to have a variety of other things? But
No.
and if we're going to be really honest, when we were talking about this from the design standpoint, it was acrylic. Throw an acrylic
Yeah.
crystal on that. Make it a plastic crystal. Make it as
I
close to
mean,
vintage as you can get.
acrylic was from the beginning of watchmaking up until when did really acrylic die out? Late 70s, maybe
Probably.
early 80s.
Yeah. Some
Then they
production.
started switching over to mineral, which was, obviously harder than acrylic. Didn't scratch as easily as acrylic. The downside is when it did scratch, you can't polish out a mineral crystal.
Right.
You're at the mercy of having to replace it.
So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we're talking, we've got what? You got your materials, so acrylic, we got hesselite, you got mineral, you got glass, you got sapphire.
Yeah.
Walk me through it. Because I've got an understanding of what all of this is, but I'm not sure where your rant wants to go. So
Well,
I don't know how to be supportive here.
my rant really is in the affordable price range. Is it necessary that a watch automatically has to come with a sapphire crystal now. Is that the new standard for affordability? I
Well,
really don't
okay,
think
so
it should be.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about that for a second. So, if I have a $350 watch with a sapphire crystal and I get a
Hmm.
good scratch on that because it's a $350 watch, so I'm using it as a tool. I might be using it as a hammer, who knows? How much is it going to cost me to replace that crystal and is it worth it for that watch?
Well, not only how much is it going to cost to replace it, but what do you have to go through to replace it, right? Because if it's a flat sapphire, that's a whole lot easier than trying to find a dome sapphire or a box sapphire because it's made specifically for that watch.
Right.
And when you get into the Seiko mod realm, you can buy the boxed crystals, but you're at the mercy of, does your watch fit the same Seiko style crystal? Then okay, fine. You can probably find one for 50, $60 and Bob's your uncle. Otherwise, you're going to have to rely on, how old is your watch? Do they still have the parts in stock? Do they still manufacture the crystals for that watch? No. So what are you going to do? You're going to put in a flat sapphire or a flat mineral crystal as a replacement.
Right.
Is it really worth it at that point?
It's always a good question. I mean, always been a fan of acrylic because you get some polywatch, you're pretty much good to go. This kicker is it has to do with crazing. And the acrylic crystals, there are so many aftermarket versions. So you really have to know specifically what it is that you're talking about. And the crystals, the design of the acrylic crystal was for it to crack but not shatter.
Mhm.
And that's the hallmark of that style. And so you really want it to do that. And you can see some crazing on this dial. I've had a few others that have had the exact same problem. So you can't polish that out. You have to replace those crystals.
Yeah.
But
So
otherwise, surface scratches, wear and tear, it's not that big of a deal. It really just isn't.
it's not. And I've been able to bring back some heavily gouged acrylic crystals. But the
Yeah,
crazing is kind of in the plastic itself. It's
right.
really not at the surface level. And there's once it does that, just from age and being exposed to temperature variances and sunlight and all that kind of stuff, it
Yeah.
just,
Well,
it
also
reaches the end of
it's
its
not even
life.
just that. It's also that like if you're off by just a little bit, and it's a pressure fit crystal, and so that they'll distort a little bit when you're putting them in. So if you're
Hmm.
using a crystal press, you can get a off size crystal to fit. You can get it in. It's tight, and then it'll craze on you because the pressure's wrong.
Yeah.
So that's always
But
the worry.
the upside is easily replaceable. You can
Yeah,
pick these things up for 5, 10, $15 and automatically you got a brand new perfect crystal.
right.
So let's move on here. This is a brand new replacement crystal, but if you look at it, it just has a warmth to it. There's something about acrylic that you just don't get out of mineral, that you just especially don't get out of sapphire. Like you, I prefer it over all of the material options. In fact, so much so that when I get a deep sea, I may swap it out to an acrylic crystal because that's what the original was, and I like that look.
Okay.
So for all those that are screaming that the deep sea should have a sapphire, I'm going to put a mineral in it. You
Huh?
can suck it. So this one here, this is a
Mineral.
mineral crystal,
Yeah.
and I guess this is the downside to that is that it's glass. It's a mineral
Basically, yeah.
crystal, hardlex, the Seiko hardlex. It's just a fancy term for glass. Is all it
Right.
is. Glass scratches, and quite easily, and it
Gotcha.
chips and it cracks and shatters and all
Yeah,
that
so
kind of stuff.
you can see that there's scratches all over the crown side, and then there's big chip at 7 o'clock on that.
Hmm.
But it's also kind of a hallmark. Like that watch has lived, and I'm gonna replace the crystal at some point. Just not today, not right now. I like that one looking worn. I like that. I like just like the appearance of it. I like the appeal of it.
That would bother the hell out of me.
You know what? Yeah, it would for me too. but for some reason on this watch, it does not. It does not bother me. To me, it adds to the charm. It's weird.
Is this the same dial that's in your depth meter?
No, it is not. It's
It's different.
similar, but it's not the same.
Okay.
There are two, and it's a difference in font.
Okay. All right.
I did the exact same question.
Yeah. When you get into Sapphire, part of the problems with Sapphire is the reflectiveness and the glare that you get off of it. And that becomes really apparent when you start doming them,
Yeah,
like on your mill ships here.
yeah.
Not only
So the big issue, and we had that conversation. We were talking with the goddesses of time,
Mhm.
and Susan Chandler was bringing up the fact that just getting that crystal and getting that shape was so difficult for them to achieve. And that's to try to get it back to what was the original. And I'm assuming the original was probably acrylic,
I would
because
have to
this was, it was
imagine
a military watch, and it would have been
in the
easier to
50s.
shape. You know,
Yeah. But doming it and then throwing a flat top on that dome, like
yeah.
you get trying to take a photo
Of
of the
that,
mill
that's
ships,
it's nearly impossible,
it
man.
is impossible.
Like when we were talking about putting this episode together and we were looking for pictures. That's the one I had to search for that one because it was down deep. It was right after I first got that watch. And then
Mhm.
there's my my A15, which has got that flat crystal, but it's a
Mhm.
black dial on a black watch with a flat. Oh, and that one's hard to take pictures of too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my Zurich Trappist is also a domed sapphire. Um, when you get into sapphires, because sapphire was as high as you could go in a material, it's like, where do you go from here? Well, the next best thing is to see how many layers of anti-reflective coating you can slather all over it. Oh, well, we're
Because
going to
yeah,
put
on
it.
sapphire, it's an artificial sapphire. It's like an
Mhm.
aluminum silicate process, and it's what 9 on the Mohs scale, and diamond is 10. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very very hard watch, and through normal wear, yeah, you're pretty okay. But if you got a tool watch, you're gonna scratch it. It's gonna happen, and
Well, hold that thought.
uh,
Hold that thought. Anti-reflective coating is that blue hue that you can see
yeah.
towards the top of this watch here. I don't understand it because with this watch, I get all kinds of reflection still. And I feel like the anti-reflective coating does zero for it.
Ha!
I really don't understand the necessity of an anti without it. Is it 10 times worse? I don't know. But you still get all kinds of reflections off of domed ones, the boxed crystals with the AR coatings on it, you still get reflection off of it. Actually, those ones you get the least amount of reflection for whatever reason.
The thing is,
Flat ones,
so
you get a lot of reflection
what it
off
may
of
be
too.
coming off of is the fact that okay, you're getting reflections, but it's surface reflections versus getting you can still see the dial. You can still see the watch. So,
Yeah, but look at that. You can't hardly see that upper portion of the dial because it's reflecting so badly.
all right, but
I don't know.
like,
I don't get it.
how often have you been looking at your watch and not been able to tell the time and then not been able to adjust your wrist to see better?
Well,
So I
this watch
think,
in particular is art, Joe. So it's not about the time telling. It's about the
well, that's
art that
true.
the story
That's
that it
true.
tells on the wrist. Yeah.
You and your art watches. Good God.
Okay. So for all the people who are all sapphire all the time, I want to show you a picture. This is my lunar pilot that I have given to my girlfriend. She wore it to work. She is a professional photographer. She somehow managed to chip, scratch, and crack the sapphire crystal.
Impressive. Most impressive.
So, really, is it what A, should it have done that as easily as it did? Like, I've worn this watch to work, and I really get down and dirty with some of my watches, and it's never done any of that. She wears it to work the very first time as a photographer and comes back like this. Now she was all upset because, oh, you gave it to me and it's all broken now. It's fine. It is what it is. But should it have done it that easily, being sapphire? And two, sapphire is not the end all be all because it can do the exact same things as a mineral crystal. And let's be honest with ourselves. Are you really that hard on your watches every single day that you need the most scratch resistant crystal possible? Or can we really just get away with a mineral crystal and call it a
You
day?
you can get away with a mineral crystal. And so the argument over sapphire versus mineral is really it's the Omega Speedmaster argument. The Speedmasters had the Hezolite crystal, and it was one of the selling points of the watch for NASA
Mm-hmm.
because who knows what's going to happen in space, and you don't want shards of glass
Glass.
floating
Yeah.
around in zero gravity. You don't know what kind of havoc that's going to wreak. So the fact that you can get a acrylic crystal that's not going to shatter, that was the big moment. That was the big point. I'm not going into space. And if my watch crystal shatters, which I've had a couple do, they've shattered in really, really interesting ways. When that happens, it's not that big a deal to go get it taken care of. It, in this terrestrial space that I exist in. So,
I've never had a mineral crystal scratch on me ever. In any of my watches that I have ever owned with a mineral crystal, I have had zero issues with them.
I've had a
I,
couple.
I,
I've
I
had a couple
cannot say the
scratches.
same thing for a sapphire.
Really?
Yeah. Case in point on your screen right there.
Yeah. True. True.
So when it comes to the affordable space, $500 and below, in the Sea Hunter in particular at $350, does it really matter that it doesn't have a sapphire crystal? It really doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so there's a time and place for sapphire. And if you're going to have a high end watch and all that, and you want to have the fanciest materials on it, that's fine. Put sapphire in it. If you really do work in an environment where you're hard on your watches, that is your best bet for not shattering, not scratching, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that sapphire is no good. What I'm saying is it's not as great as what everybody makes it out to be,
Right.
and it's not necessary at certain price points. And we don't need to be screaming at these manufacturers who aren't using it at an affordable price point, telling them that their watches are crap because they don't have a sapphire crystal. That's really what irritates the hell out of me. You got to look beyond the crystal. There's more to it than just that. So, and then they complain about the movement that's inside. That's the next thing. There's no winning.
Nah. Whatever.
My other gripe
There it
is
is.
Lume. Lume. I don't get I don't get Lume. I don't get Lume at all. I have never had a watch with Lume that has ever lasted more than, I'll go high and say, 10 minutes.
Okay.
I understand what Lume is supposed to do. I've never had a watch do it.
The question really comes down to how many of the radium watches, how long did they glow when they were new? And I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. But I do know that if you find one that's radium, you get something from the 30s, 40s, they're still radioactive, and that's a thing, right? You see the Geiger counters come out at some of these vintage shows, and you hear the click, click, click. Like, cool, put that on your wrist. Have fun with that. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I don't understand Loom that well either. It's a neat party trick, but I go to these meetups and somebody's got a black light and I'm like, oh, check out the Loom. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but then it's done glowing. It's like, okay, what's the thing? At night I turn off the light and some of the watches in my watch box are still glowing. Not all of them. Okay. And they're not glowing by the morning. Go on with your bad self.
So it starts off with radium, which
Yeah.
was the very first luminous material, radioactive, like you were just saying. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it. Is it the constant decay of the material that keeps it glowing, right? Same thing with the successor, which was Teridium, which
Uh-huh.
was also to a certain degree a radioactive material. Um, then you have Luminova, Superluminova, which is the most commonly used nowadays.
There's a
Um,
couple different proprietary blends of that too.
you've got, yeah, different blends of it. But you still have Teridium tubes, and it's my best understanding the same type of Teridium material in a gas form,
Right.
still radioactive, still breaks down, but it is not harmful because it's encased in glass tubes.
Encapsulated, right?
The downside is they do have a shelf life, and depending on the manufacturer, it's between 10 and 20 years. They
Ball is
are
really big on those, right?
Ball is real big on the tubes. They claim 10 years for their watches. And it's really cool. Like, and again, there's a time and place for everything. And if you really are in a position that you have to have Lume, Teridium tubes, Indiglo, those are your two best options.
You see, I think that people are sleeping on the backlight. And if you have to use your watch in the dark, you really need a backlight that's on it. Casio's got they've got a lock on that. Timex
Mm-hmm.
Indiglo, they've really got a lock on that.
Yeah.
There's a couple. So who was it that did the? Somebody did a mechanical version of a backlight,
Oh, that was it. Panerai? Did Panerai do the
maybe.
mechanical?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. But the idea that my watch is going to glow at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to check out the times, like you're not looking at your watch. You're pushing the screen on your phone.
Well, okay. So as I'm thinking about it, the applications where Loom is going to be useful is deep sea diving, right? You still have underwater welders, you have underwater inspectors, things like that. Working in subterranean environments where you don't have, very well lit areas. Third shift workers. A lot of these people are working at night. Security guards, custodial, overnight truck drivers, warehouse workers, things like that. In those instances, I can understand where you need something where you may not be pulling out your phone all the time. You want to look at your wrist and see what time it is. Teridium tubes, backlight, Indiglo, done. Don't come to me and be like, oh, my Seiko proprietary Lume mixture glows for 13 hours and 37 minutes. Come on. I have never seen a Lume watch last more than 10 minutes. And like you said, all it is a party trick. All Lume is good for is taking a photo and putting it on Instagram for the Friday night Lume battle photos. That's all it is. The other thing it's good for is vintage watches.
True.
When they age to perfection, that's when it really gets good. So,
You got that creamy color, but then you also got your Fotina, so
well, the
mileage may vary.
Fotina is another thing. You don't like Fotina.
I
I
don't
don't
like.
mind it. This is your ball with the rainbow tritium tube. And that's the other thing too is you can get real creative with the colors when you
Yeah,
get into gas tubes. You can do two colors. You can do multiple colors. You can do one solid color. It's the sky is the limit, really. Here's an Indiglo, a full dial Timex Indiglo. I mean, that's perfect. You can see everything.
yeah.
This one is a chronograph. You can
Well, the
operate it
thing
in the
though, like
dark.
when you're looking at anything with the Indiglo or something like that with that kind of dial, it's backlit basically.
Hmm.
So whatever you're using as your indices, whatever you're using as your dial, your subdials, all that sort of stuff, you have to have a level of solid on those because it's basically you're looking at the shadow that they're giving.
Yeah. So vintage loom. This is a Teridium uh, dial. If you ever see the ones that say T Swiss
Yeah.
T, or sometimes it's T greater than 25, or what I think Rolex does that. Those are markers of that being tritium lume, which is again radioactive substance. The way that they age, though,
Yeah.
it's so good. Tritium lume can age in certain ways. The best is when it turns that creamy kind of custardy color, like what
Yeah.
this is. That's when it gets really good. This is your Caravel. What are they calling this? The skipper?
Yeah. Clipper.
The clipper. Thank you. Yeah, the clipper. These and the original 665 Sea Hunters.
Yeah.
The hands and the dial have always aged
Different.
differently. Yep.
Uh-huh.
The dials will always get that creamy kind of color to it. Your
Yeah.
hands are a lot greener
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Always.
And I don't know if it's down to they were two different compounds. It was different manufacturers for the dial
I'm
and the
looking at
hands.
it's either two different compounds or it's the amount that there may be more that's stuck in the hands that was put on the dial. But it's really hard to say. It's always fascinating. And the 665s had three different colors of lume on them, and they all age a little bit differently. These ones were the same.
Yeah.
It's a contemporary of that watch to a great extent. It's
So
always fascinating for me for that how way that lume changes.
this is your Caravel.
Yeah.
And I threw mine up here too, because mine's a little more apparent. Mine has gotten to a real
Yeah.
darker custard on the dial, but
Yeah.
you can see that green in the hand still. And I tell you what, I love when they age differently like that. And there are
Yeah.
some people out there who really don't like it, and it's got to be the same or nothing.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at it from, and it's a Rolex thing, if we're going to be honest, because the Rolex lume aged the same. The colors didn't alter
Hmm.
for whatever reason, and it could be because they were controlling the manufacturer.
They probably did it all in house,
You
and a
know,
lot of these were subbed out to
right,
whoever
and
manufactured
that's the thing that goes on when you're looking at other brands, and so that's the thing that everybody wants to talk about. Is like it has to match. The lume has to match. It's like, well, for some manufacturers, yes. For others, no. The lume doesn't have to match as long as it's aged. To a great extent. You can't have bright green and then custard yellow. That
it. Yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah.
Obviously, you got a problem.
The other direction that Teridium can go is black. Kind of gets like this moldy black look to it. And it's
Right, but
weird.
that's typically water damage. You know.
Well, but it's weird on this one because the dial is that creamy lume, but the hands have gone dark. And you would figure if there was water damage that the whole thing would start to do that.
Could be, but it also like the application that goes into the hours. It's such a different thing, and it also depends on how the watch was stored and where how wet it got. Because when you're looking at it from that standpoint, you can get water into the top and the bottom, and so that
Hmm,
can change the way that it comes across. Versus on the dial, it's only coming in from the top.
I guess. I don't know.
That's physics.
Weird nonetheless. And I have watches that have black lume on it, and it's just kind of like disappointing. You know which way it could have gone, but it didn't.
Right.
So this is interesting. This is two oceanographer V's for comparison. And here's what's funny about this photo. When we were going through and looking at it, I said, "Oh, I took that picture." And you said, "No, that was a screenshot of a video," which is funny because we had to video the watches in order to be able to screenshot. Because by the time you take the light source away and line up to snap the picture,
Yeah.
they've already quit glowing. So we had to take a video of it in order to capture it properly.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That's funny. That's funny. I hadn't remembered that. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like, really, what is the point of the Lume? It's a cool photo opportunity, and that's really about
Hang
it.
on. We'll go to the next one.
Full Lume dials.
Yeah. This watch, okay, because it's new, it's still under, I think, 3 years old. If I take it outside, so get it out of the watch box, go outside to take a picture, and then go into the bathroom, it's glowing. and it's glowing just about like that. It picks up color so fast.
Yeah. And I will say that probably because of this, the sheer amount of lume on the dial, these might glow a little bit longer than,
Yeah,
ones that are just hour markers and hands.
yeah.
But like you said, when you're outside in the sunlight and you come indoors, which is a little less sunny, you can see that it's glowing. But
Oh
at
yeah, it
that
changes
point,
the color completely.
you but you won't need the lume to glow that much when you're indoors because it's still lit and you can still read the time on your
Yeah,
dial.
it ruins the sort of the color of the dial. Like if you think it's a white dial, and then all of a sudden it's glowing at you.
Yeah. So
It's cool on Halloween. I'm not gonna lie. It's really neat. It's really neat at night.
this is my last photo. This is my what year is this? 1970 astronaut, the deep sea dial.
Yeah,
When it comes to vintage loom, it's really not about it glowing. We all know that vintage loom, 50 years old, just doesn't glow. However, it's funny because it gets down to the aesthetics of the loom. And I'm going to zoom in real close here, and you can see it's
yeah,
all about the puffiness.
yeah. Right.
These vintage guys love the puffy loom.
It's a thing, man. I've got it on some of my snorkels.
Yeah,
And I remember seeing it initially and thinking it's like, oh, that's been redone. Like, no, it hasn't. Like the pre-snorkel I have, the black dial, that the loom has degraded and it's gotten puffy, but some of it has scattered over the rest of the dial, and you have sort of this starlight dial on it.
like a mist. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a neat effect, and that happens on it happens on vintage watches. So you
yeah.
miss that other places.
But it becomes very important in the value of the watch sometimes when it comes to, is the loom intact? Is it still puffy? Is
Yeah,
it aged properly? Is it all uniform? And then you get into like the triangle ordinal here where it's orange,
yeah.
and how that's kind of, you can see the degradation in it, but it still has that puffiness and it still retains the color. It's like
And
this
the
is one of
shape
the
too.
best examples of vintage Teridium loom.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not about the
it's
glow, it's all about how it's held up over the
as
years.
we're talking about this, I'm thinking about that Skittles collection of snorkels that I've got, and I've got that
Hmm.
green dial that has not degraded at all. And that green dial, it's still almost a bright green of all of that lumen. That's a 1974 watch. That's a
Yeah.
50-year-old watch that hasn't had any. And so there's always the question of how does it age and what causes the age? Was it exposed to sunlight? Does that change the way that the dial turns? Was it kept in a box? Does that change the way that the dial turns? And nobody's really got a good answer, you know?
Well, and I'm going to throw it back up on screen here when it comes up there. This deep sea that I have, I mean, look at that. You can still see that it's nice and puffy, but
Yeah.
it hasn't turned creamy. It's still
No, it
kind of
hasn't,
got
but
that green
that's the same
minty.
way my watch is.
Yeah, but that's fantastic.
But I think that that's also, it may have been what the specific Singer Lume was using, the compound that they were using for that run, because those ones didn't really turn. And you see others that have. You can see some of those that get creamy, but it's a later dial.
It's just funny how, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for everybody. For me, it's less important about how it glows, how long it glows. I could care less. I could care less if there's lume on a dial at all. But when it comes to the vintage watches, it's all about how it's held up, how it's
Yeah,
aged, the color
yeah,
that is turned. You can hold a UV light to it and it's still going to glow green. And as soon as you turn it off, that's it. It's done.
yeah.
And it's not about that. It's just about the way that it looks still. Oh, there's
Well,
something
and
about it.
so and this is, I mean, maybe we should have this discussion at another time, because it to me there's a part of this that comes in with the Fotina thing, and that
That's another
the
discussion.
vintage collectors like the loom to have turned, but Fotina is not that. Fotina is, let's try to make it look the same way, and it's not the same appeal.
So this is interesting. And we're going to tie it back to the Sea Hunter that's on your wrist. because this was a conversation that we were actually part of with them
We had
of,
we had this
you
conversation.
know, what should the loom be? We saw examples of it with quote unquote brand new white loom, and we saw it with the Fotina. When it comes to the 665s, I don't know that there's any photos of what it looks like
New.
NOS, brand
Yeah.
new. So
Yeah.
we really don't know. We don't have any reference point of what it looked like brand new. And that is why I much preferred the Fotina, because you can relate it to what the originals look like now. Where you were very much on the side of, I want it white, I want it looking brand new, and I want it to age on its own again.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that the Luminova is going to age over the years like the Teridium has. I
It's
don't know
gonna
if
do.
you're going to get the
It'll
same
do
effect.
something different. It'll do something different, given enough time. But I, the thing for me about Fotina is that you are faking through the process, because the vintage loom, the colors that you get on the vintage loom, and you're seeing a complete physical representation of how well the watch has been maintained. Was it cared for? Was it exposed to various elements? Did it get wet? Has it been redone? It's a hallmark of the quality of the watch to me. And when you see something that's got that, just that real, a friend of mine has just picked up a GMT, like 16 series, early Rolex GMT, Pepsi, the whole bit, and the loom on that is just, and the bezel's gone fuchsia. It's a beautiful watch.
Mhm.
If you are into that specific style of Rolex, and you're looking for, like, you're looking for an example, that's the example. And it's beautiful for that. And that means you're looking at all of these different hallmarks of a quality, well-maintained, original watch. And to me, when you throw Fotina into some of that discussion, you've taken away a lot of it. You've eliminated that aspect. And so I don't care for it, because I would rather get there naturally. That's just me.
Those are my rants. I don't, we don't really need sapphire crystals at an affordable level. It is not necessary.
And Mike
If
doesn't like
you're,
loom either.
huh?
You don't like loom. You don't like sapphire.
Well, it's not that I don't like Loom. I like Loom.
Just go
Loom is
give him a
great.
French watch. Give him a French watch. He'll be a happy man.
Look, my Leap has no Loom on it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
No loom on the lip. Uh-huh. Okay.
On the Leap.
You're gonna keep saying that, and you're gonna get a fat lip, is what you're gonna happen. That's what's gonna go on here.
I'm going to bring it with me.
I'm
Oh,
sure you are.
what? 2 weeks? Less
2
than
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep.
I'll be out there with you.
Next episode.
Yeah, I suppose it will be next episode,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Next episode. Next recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here. We'll do it here.
Well, maybe. We'll have to see.
Do
I
it
don't know.
somewhere.
We'll figure something out. So, a last call to tie into some of our previous last calls. I was it a post or was it a story? RT Custer.
Story. RT. Yeah.
Yeah. He he made a poster slash story, whatever it was, within the last couple of days, talking
Very
about
near full recovery from that guy.
it. Well,
Phenomenal.
he was talking about, what he went through, and really, hustling it through his all his recovery procedures of
Yeah.
the stroke that he went through. I mean, if you've seen it, he got emotional in it. I mean, it's just the guy standing in front of everybody saying, you know what, I'm here. I'm still part of the company. He was talking about the military watches being released soon. And he was also talking about when he suffered his stroke, his wife stepped up and took over as the interim CEO and more or less the day-to-day things of the
Right.
company. I wonder if we start to see him as more of the face of the brand, starting to tell some stories. And
It,
maybe that's how he eases back
it
into
could
his
be, and
workload.
I gotta think any type of recovery, the more you can get back to normal, the more you can get back to your regular, the better off it is for anything. And the fact that he was the company, he was so involved with the company,
Hmm.
it could be really interesting to see if that role changes, if if his partner steps up to take on some of the extra steps, and then he can be more of the face. I don't know. I don't know what the upshot of that is going to be. I don't know what the return for that is going to be. I know that, but Vortic as a company, their support of the Veterans Watchmaker Initiative, their support of American Made, their support of
Yeah.
it's a fascinating company. It's a really great story. I highly recommend you guys all check it out.
It's a cool story, and
Yep.
it was really unexpected to see him standing there, in what I assume is the warehouse there, and talking and kind of addressing everybody, and that's a cool comeback story. So
It is. It
we've
is.
we've talked about, they had a GoFundMe, and hopefully some people took advantage of that, and it just brings the whole thing full circle. He's just such a cool, down to earth guy who does
Yeah.
it just for the passion of it, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. So glad to see
Always.
him
Always.
back in it, and stand in front of everybody, and kind of telling his story a little bit. So good for him.
We're fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
How
Well,
do we
Joe,
get in touch, Mike?
today you and I, we make a Spring Bar Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. You can email us, the Spring Bar Podcast at gmail.com. On a personal level, I am 120 clicks, all spelled out, one long word, 120 clicks. Joe.
Watch Taylor Youth, EUPH, all one word. Here we are.
How is it that my glass is empty and yours isn't?
Is that refilled?
Oh, okay, that's
missed
fair. I still have a little bit of.
Yeah, see, you got the better cube, right? Mine are homemade. Yours are store bought.
No. Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.